3 Quarters podcast. Keep watching. Kate Sonaga.
Guys, woo! So, quick wrap up of other sporting events. I'll start with where I know Njoro's. I'll do a quick read of the results that happened yesterday in the English Premier League.
Yeah.
We had Leicester City versus Chelsea, defending champions being hammered 3-0 by Chelsea. You had Tottenham Hotspurs versus West Brom, I beg your pardon. Spurs winning 4-0. We had Swansea were gunned down by Arsenal 4-0. Thanks to a couple of own goals. Then we have Everton playing Manchester City today in the next 40 minutes. Everton versus Manchester City.
Then ile game kubwa. Game ya wazito.
Then Manchester United versus Liverpool. It's been played at Old Trafford. It's a Northern England derby. There's a lot of history going on between these two teams. They're the two most successful teams in English Premier League history. United, of course, with 20 league wins. 21 titles, sorry, I beg your pardon. And 21.
20. Yeah, 20.
You guys, you're giving yourself one
Sometimes
more.
I forget, but
21. Ferguson's last season actually being the last time.
yeah, thanks to Van Persie.
To the 20th.
Thanks, Gunners.
And Liverpool 18. Yeah, 18.
When you know, as in the Ferguson said, he has to knock
Liverpool
off their patch. Clearly knocked.
From the days of Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish. Anyway, to the game that's happening later on today. Objectively, yes. How do you think?
I was in there, you really emphasized on objective.
Yeah, how do you think it's going to pan out?
Well, now I'll have to go back to the earlier game where Manchester United played Liverpool at Anfield.
Yes.
That game, Mourinho hadn't found his formula for how Manchester United was going to work properly. There were mixed results.
Yes.
Win here, draw here, lost there.
Yeah.
So when Mourinho took United to Anfield, he had one thing in mind.
Yeah.
Negate.
Yeah.
Park the bus.
Yes.
Put the barriers.
As his custom.
Because at that point,
as is usual of Mourinho, he has a contract with Scania.
that was
just buying buses. Anyway.
Now you see what at that point Liverpool were playing such attacking football. They were so dangerous.
Yes.
So Mourinho was like, okay, I don't know my best formation.
Yes.
We're not playing the best football right now.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we'll fight for a draw and maybe try and snatch a goal here.
Yes.
But at this point in time, right now, 9 wins in a row. Ain't nobody.
It's not 17. It's easy.
No one can tell me.
No, it's 9 wins.
Today, by the way, we're going for the win. Anything short of a win for United against Liverpool today is a disappointment. In my mind.
In your mind. Liverpool have been featuring at the top there with Chelsea. They've been constantly there. And they're playing decent football this year. I have said categorically from the day they signed Jurgen Klopp that has been their best signing in a number of years. I think since Fernando Torres. The Jurgen Klopp has been their best, and his gegenpress and all that. His philosophy of football. And you can see it because last season he came towards the half of the season. That's when he finished. He took them to the end of the season. You can see what he's done with pre-season and now some games. And you can see
Liverpool at number 2.
Yeah, they're number 2. They're playing some good ball. They're playing some good ball. So, in all honesty, I do accept the fact that yes, United have found a formula. They're playing some very good football, which is very unlike Mourinho to play attractive football. They're playing some very good football. As I said last week, I don't think they're going to make it this year, but they're definitely a force to reckon. As for this game today, I think it's going to be a draw.
A draw?
Yeah, I know you're going to call United.
Obviously, me, that's all I'm expecting.
That's all you're expecting,
yeah, man.
Fair enough. Moving on swiftly, we go to the NBA All-Stars. It's supposed to be happening on February 19th. In New Orleans. Of course, now there's talk about who's going to be making the teams. I'll just go through the West and the East teams currently in terms of voting. Who makes the team? For the East, for the Eastern Conference, is Kyrie Irving at point guard. There's Dwayne Wade at shooting guard. You have LeBron James at small forward. You have Kevin Love at power forward. And Giannis, his second name is a big Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. For the Milwaukee Bucks, he's going to be at center. And for the Western Conference, the vote getters currently: Steph Curry at point guard, James Harden at shooting guard, Kevin Durant at small forward. Kawhi Leonard at wow, that's interesting. Anyway, Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard between a small forward and power forward, and Zaza Pachulia at center. Are there some names you think that are missing from here? I know which names are missing from here.
Me, I think Draymond Green.
Yes. In the West.
In the West.
Yeah.
I think Draymond Green.
Yeah.
And personally, also, I rate Blake Griffin very highly.
Yes.
Although he's not having the best.
He's been monkey.
Yeah, he's been monkey. But I really rate him highly.
You rate him highly. I think from the East, they've gotten it. I think of what's his name, DeMar DeRozan, the guy from Toronto. That's a guy I think he should be starting. But anyway, the good thing is that they've changed it nowadays. You have 50% from the fans, 25% from the players, and
25%
from the media.
Yeah.
So good thing is that it's not going to be entirely about the fans.
Yeah.
From the West, the first guy who would drop is Steph Curry. I don't know what he's doing there.
As in, he's not having a good season.
He's not having a
good season. He's not my cousin.
And he's not your cousin, you denied that. He's the first guy I think you should drop there. I think you should be talking about the backcourt. I'd combine Westbrook and James Harden.
Yeah.
I'd have Anthony Davis in as center, and or the Minnesota Timberwolves guy. What's his name? Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, that's another guy I think we should be featuring. From the East Coast.
Dwayne Wade, Buddha.
Dwayne Wade is there. It's not too bad. There's a guy who's having a decent season, but I don't think it's as decent as these other guys. And he's a swingman. Unfortunately, for the small forward position, he'd be competing with LeBron. I think Jimmy Butler is having a decent season. The person who I would like to see in the backcourt is Isaiah Thomas. From Boston Celtics. Yeah, I think he should also get a nod. But anyway, we'll be talking about this as the date comes closer. Then, in the West Coast, it's sad. It's very sad, Njoro, that this tournament has become this dull.
It has become so. By the way,
African Cup of Nations is happening. Many of you guys, I'm sure, don't even know that's happening.
As in, guys are really prepped up for the Merseyside Manchester games, but Afcon is going on.
Afcon is going on. I think where they confused guys is previously, of course, first. Afcon is a biennial tournament. It happens every 2 years. Every other 2 years.
So it's a bit diluted.
It's a bit, number one. Number two, they used to have it in the same year when you'd have either a World Cup or a European Championship. And because of all the hype that surrounds those two other trophies, they decided to move it to the odd numbers.
Yeah.
So they moved to the odd years. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So they moved it in, I want to say 2015. That's when they changed. 2014, 2015. That's when they ended first. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 2012, 2013. 2012 was when Zambia won. They beat Ivory Coast in Equatorial Guinea. Then 2013, because of the proximity of the tournaments, they had to take it to SA because SA have already, like in terms of infrastructure. And Nigeria won that one. 2015, Ivory Coast are the defending champions. And this year we are playing in Gabon. Of course, Gabon playing Guinea-Bissau yesterday. You want to read the results, actually, what happened yesterday?
Yeah, in fact, yesterday, Guinea-Bissau, Gabon versus Guinea-Bissau ended 1-1.
Yes.
Then there was Burkina Faso versus Cameroon.
Versus Cameroon, yes?
Yeah, it ended 1-1.
It ended 1-1. Today, I'll mention quick, we have Algeria versus Zimbabwe, and we have Tunisia versus Senegal, which should be a decent game.
Yeah, that should be a decent game.
It's so sad, Njoro, where Senegal is right now. If you remember the Senegal team of El Hadji Diouf,
hey,
when Diop and Kalilou Fadiga and Salif. Oh my goodness, those guys, the guys who went to the quarterfinals of the 2002 World Cup.
When they beat France.
When they beat France in the opening game. Defending champions.
Yeah.
And you need to mention that that year, in the AFCON, that year 2002, they lost out to a very good Cameroon team in the final. The Cameroon team that had Rigobert Song, that had Laurent, that had Samuel Eto'o Fields, that had Jeremy Njitap. My goodness, that was when African football was African football.
But now, that's the thing. It's so sad that now, mostly people actually identify AFCON with a nuisance. Like, now Atimane has gone to it's like an interruption to the Premier League.
Yes.
Atimane has gone to play.
Yes.
Then Bailey has gone.
Yes.
So,
but then the question, Joro, let me ask you, because this thing was always there. When it used to approach January in an African Cup season, for the big teams, you knew Arsenal was going to be missing Nwankwo Kanu and Laurent. You knew days when Quinton Fortune was at United. And Jemba. Samuel Eto'o Fields in Spain, when he was playing in Spain. Didier Drogba in Chelsea. You had Rigobert Song was playing in France. Point is, when this time came, these guys did not think twice.
Yeah,
they were like, boss, me, I'm going to chase a AFCON. You guys just chill. It's okay, you'll chill.
Yeah.
You'll chase a Vizuri. You'll play some ball for a month. Then I'll come back from the African Cup.
Definitely.
We're not seeing that from the players, number one.
Yeah.
We are, again, it boils down to what I keep on saying about two things. Sport becoming too mechanical and sport becoming too commercial. Because the big African players then, of course, have to play the Yaya Toures and the Sadio Mane.
Yaya Toure, him is retired.
Him is retired. But also, I mean, not to throw shade, for lack of a better word. Yaya Toure did actually turn up for his national team when he did too. But there's been a clear dip between what we used to see in the African Cup of Nations right up to 2010 and what I think the last African Cup of Nations that was fire was the Zambia versus Ivory Coast final. Because Zambia, they were playing in Equatorial Guinea. There was the emotional attachment of the Zambian team that had crashed on the coast of Equatorial Guinea. So that's the last serious one we saw. And Joro, the reason why I'm saying this and I'm being very passionate about it is that the African Cup of Nations was big to a point where every year you'd have, after the AFCON, you'd have the champion of Africa play the champion of Europe.
Yes.
Cameroon, France, Cameroon, Greece, Senegal, Egypt play, champion of Europe. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
And there are big talents that are playing in Africa. So I don't know what you have to say about it.
The mentality is a bit different nowadays.
Yes.
Is that you're so focused on your individual goals.
Yes.
That when you're called up to your country, you don't have that fervor, that attachment.
Yes.
And I don't know how we can get that back.
Yes.
Because there's a point in time where even in primary school, we'd collect newspapers to sell so that we take them to school, then we weigh them. Then if we get to 100 kilos, you watch a game.
African Cup, exactly, yes.
So I don't know what exactly has changed. I'm at an impasse. Even me, I'm not sure what has changed.
Yes.
But it has changed.
I don't know how we're going to get back there. But
I don't know. As in, that's a quandary. I'm at a quandary about that, about African Cup and why it has lost its flavor.
But CAF needs to do something about it. CAF. Fair enough, man. That's it. You've heard it from us, the Three Quarters podcast. As always, I keep reminding you, and I'm not going to get tired. And I'm not going to tire until Atuchoki until you guys subscribe. Please follow us at the Three Quarters on Twitter. Like our Facebook page, the Three Quarters Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Quarters Podcast. We promise to be bringing you content fast, thick, every damn day of the week. Safi. We'll be bringing you content. You'll be getting those notifications. Content is never lacking. So make a point of subscribing to our YouTube channel. From Nash, your official noisemaker,
Joro, the geek in charge.
We say thank you very much. That has been episode 9. Till next week, keep it live, keep it low. Cheers.
So, 50.